Hey everyone, welcome to our overview of our Revit sample file style 1. Our goal with this series of different styles is to show you how we would model things and ultimately do this in a way that you can improve your processes, streamline, be more efficient, and I believe this is good for you whether you're a student or in the working world, running your own business or working for someone else. We want to show you some tips and tricks to make that process incredibly easier and faster by modeling it this certain way. And I can't take full credit for this. There's a great bunch of guys that produce what they call the Revit rocket ship, and so this is their method called model it how it's built. And we take this to approach kind of in conjunction with what they do. I think it's great to model things to a certain level of detail, structure different elements, and by modeling, taking more time modeling things, it makes it easier to detail. And so why am I doing this? Why am I showing you this? Why am I producing these samples? Our goal with this is to give some tips and tricks for people that are learning Revit and are just starting to kind of become to that intermediate level. And with this overview, we're going to go over what you get with this sample file and ultimately how to model in this way about what you get. Here's the first thing. We have a PDF outlining what is in this sample, and we have all of our pages set up here. So let me just flip through these here. Site plan, floor plans, roof plan, elevations, and you notice the elevations all have a little 3D view set up. We have some building sections, and that's kind of it. So that's what's set up in the PDF. And let me just minimize that. And so here's our Revit file. And so depending on what version of the template you buy, we have this sample file in here. And so we have our different floor plans, and you can see that all these views are set up on sheets. There's also some placeholders for other sheets. So we do have foundation plan and that kind of thing set up. We have some placeholders for framing plans. Some of the framing plans do have some information populated in them, but they're not that developed. And so at least it gives you a good place to get started. And so one of my big philosophies in what I preach to my students when I was a student and obviously in my own business is if we can systemify and be efficient with our process by setting up all our sheets and views and all that information, we can spend a lot of time doing other things. And so again, part of my philosophy is to be subtractive, so it's easier to delete things. So if you have a project with only a first and second floor and no basement, we can just delete the basement page and delete the basement view. We can also delete those datum lines. And so it's easier to be subtractive than be additive. And so with this, we have all these different views and things set up in here. One thing you'll note just at the top here, we have a structural foundation plan and the framing plans. They're different. We actually set our foundation plan up as a floor plan and our structural framing plans up as ceiling plans so that we're looking up at the information. Like in the traditional framing plan, we have our floor plans. We've actually separated out our site plan from the floor plans as a different view type. Ceiling plans, different 3D views. And then I also have working and normal elevations. Part of the reason why I've done this is this initial template is structured towards more of a design approach. And with that being said, we want our drawings to look clean and crisp, and so we don't necessarily have a lot of detail in them. And so if you look at our working drawing, our working elevations, we do see the different datum lines, and they're all set up and structured, but in our actual main elevations, they are not. And so again, that's the reason for that is just so that this is structured more from a design perspective, or for those in studio, it's ready to go for a studio project and everything looks clean and nice looking graphical. Another thing that you'll notice is on our floor plans, this section right here is colored in orange. We call this a working section, and this is set up with our view templates with a filter. And so when the section is called working, it just shows you that that section is not placed on a sheet. And in that view template, you can actually turn off the filter. And so we can turn off the visibility of this. And by turning off the visibility, it will hide this section in various views. Let me just see. I think I was in the wrong section. So let me just go here. Yeah. So I was in the view template for sections, not floor plans. So when I turn off that visibility, it'll hide that. So I notice a lot of students and obviously people in the industry as well, but more so students, they have the a bunch of sections throughout their project and they don't necessarily turn them off. And so this is a way to cut sections all over the place, but then not have them visible. And if we want to see where that section is, we can go to reveal hidden elements if it's there, or we would just turn that back on that filter. In this case, it wasn't there, so turn back on that filter. And so we can see that that view there. So that's how we set this up and how we go about using this template. Again, there is a lot of things set up in here. We have a few schedules set up as well: door schedule, lighting schedule, window schedule. So there's a few things set up, and hopefully this gives you a nice head start on working on your projects. So that's our goal. Our goal is to show you a little bit of the leg up that we've been providing for ourselves. And maybe the last thing to look at is we actually model our walls as two separate layers. And again, to give credit where credit is due, Alex and Lance at Revit Rocket Ship, this is how they model their walls, and we've kind of taken inspiration from this. And we model our walls in a similar fashion as well. And this allows us to have more control over materials. And you might say to yourself, okay, Gordon, why? Who cares? Well, on this exterior facade, we actually have our stud layers stopping at the ceiling, and then we have our exterior layers carrying up. And this gives you a much more crisp look in the elevation. So it looks like our ceiling, our wall layers kind of come up all the way. And then with the roof, we do the same thing. So we have our roof sheeting and our steel roofing here. And then below that, we have our bottom part of our top chord of our truss. And then we have our bottom chord of our truss here. And we're not modeling all the webs, but we're modeling those to kind of allude that there would be a truss roof in this fashion. This would obviously be thicker and different if we were just using a normal conventionally framed roof. And you can see all these roof layers are set up. We have different wall types set up. So we have a few different wall types in here. And all the wall types we have set up on top of the template, or from the Revit template that's generic, are categorized as W. And then I believe we have a couple, we might have a couple ceilings set up. Yeah, and a couple floors set up as well. So that's a little bit of an overview of the template. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments below. If you love the template, please go ahead and check out the link in the description for our Gumroad area to purchase this template. And again, you can go over here to Gumroad and purchase this. What's included is our Revit template file, our sample project file. We have the title blocks that we're using in this, as well as a sample PDF of everything. Thanks for watching, and happy modeling.